Hello friends, welcome to the Azure DevOps tutorial series. In this tutorial, we will see how we create backlog or work item, and we will see how sprint work in Azure Board with the Scrum process. So in this tutorial, we are going to talk about this. In the previous tutorial, we have talked how we create Azure Board with the Scrum process and how the workflow and the work item look like for the Scrum process. So let's understand the backlog and the sprint into the Scrum process. So basically this is the project which we created in the last tutorial, where we created Azure Board with the Scrum. So this board is look like this, like the workflow. Any things comes in the new column, then it goes to approve, committed, then done. So we have already discussed this workflow in the previous tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to talk about this backlog. So basically in the backlog we create the product backlog and issue, task, epics. So whatever we needed, we can create those things. So currently we are looking like epic feature and the backlog item. Epic we have enabled when we went to the setting and the backlog tab. From there we have enabled this epic. That's why we are looking here. So let's expand this backlog here, and inside this when we will click on this backlog, basically we can create the task. Here we can see new task, so you can create the task here. I have given the task one, and other things is similar. If you want to give any tag, we can give the tab as a task, and if you want to assign it to someone, then we can assign to any user which we have, and we can give the priority remaining work. That is the new column here we are having for the this Scrum process. Remaining work we can give that here, and description and discussion is the common for all. And what is the activity we can give here, it's a deployment activity, design activity, requirement activity, testing activity. So what kind of this task is basically so that activity we can assign it, we are going to give as a development, and it's a blocked in the sense it is depend on other task and it depend on any other issue. So if it is blocked because of that, so what we can do, we can give it as a yes, otherwise we can put it as a empty. So let it be yes, and other thing as a link, history, attachment, all these things we can give from here. And once we are done with everything, we can save and the close, and we have assigned into the sprint one basically. So we can see this task into this sprint one, because here iteration we have assigned given into the sprint one. So basically here we can see it is looking as a task now, and from here we can edit it, assign to anyone. If we want to assign, we can assign it, copy to clipboard, and delete. So all these option is available for this one, and we can add multiple product backlog basically under one backlog. And suppose if you want, instead of this backlog, if you want to create epics, then we can create the epic. First we have to select the epic, then only we create the respective things. So once we select the epic, what we can do, we can click on the new work item, and once we click on this new work item, basically it will pop up a small box where we can create the epic. It look like this. So here we can create epic. So all these things we have already discussed into the previous tutorial, where we have created multiple work items with different things like epics and all these things. So basically once we click on this, it will create the epic for us. So it created a one epic for us, and if I will expand this one, so once we will click on this one, it will create the feature for us. Under the one epic we can create the feature. So let's create the feature. I'm going to create, and instead of sprint 1, I'm going to assign it under sprint 2, and all these things I'm going to let it be like this. All these feature, it's same for all, so we can keep it in the similar fashion. Only I have assigned it into the sprint 2. So now we have assigned it into the sprint 2. So what we can under this feature, we can assign the product backlog and the bug. So what I'm going to do, instead of this product backlog, I'm going to add the bug. So let's take work 1, and this one I'm going to assign into the sprint 2 only, and save and the close. So once we are done with this one, it will reflect here, but it is not reflecting the feature here. So basically here like feature and all these things doesn't reflect. Like here we can reflect only product backlog or task or any like a bug we can add here. Like if I will create any, let's task, instead of that task, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a product backlog here, and I'm going to assign product backlog to, and I'm going to assign in the sprint 2. So once I will assign, like we can see here, and under this, like if there is any product backlog, then we can, what we can do, we can create the new task. And like this is a bug, and under this bug what we can create, new task. So that is dependent on us, like how we want to create. So you can play around all these things and can see like how it works and how it look like. And like all the sprint, basically in the planning tab, it works in the same for all type of the process. Like when we select on any sprint, from here we can define the set, like from when to when this particular sprint will work basically. So basically every sprint is maximum 15 to 20 days, most of the company follow, but again it depends on the company standard how they want to take it. Some company take it as a for 10 days, some company take it for 20 days. So it depends on the company standard, and the task and the velocity of the work depend on that. So that is basically, let's click on the backlog. So that is basically look like the Azure board with the backlog. Like one tab is the planning and the other place is the backlog, and we create the epic product backlog, bugs, feature, and based on that we are assigned to the specific sprint, and the sprint is look like in that way. So basically that's all for this tutorial. If you have any question and doubt, please comment. Thank you.